Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. I haven't done anything for you to be proud of.
Of course you have. You are marrying a man who can support you.
I'm trying to pull up my treat for you guys. So y'all know what I'm about to talk about, right? Y'all know what we about to talk about. Y'all know what we about to talk about. We about to talk about Jayda Wayda. Miss Jayda. I feel like she's a great mom, y'all, regardless of her relationship with her baby daddy, her baby's father. I feel like she's a phenomenal mother.
And you know, lately, like I always be asking my friends, like, do y'all feel like the value of women to guys have went down, or guys just don't, respect us, appreciate us how they used to back in the 80s and the 90s? You know, like women control literally, because I could say this now, but I only say that because of status. Like, we making hella money just like these. But as far as a man literally worshiping the ground a woman walk on, it's kind of rare these days. We're running out of that. And it's kind of scary in society today. And I don't know, I might piss a lot of people off talking about this, but it's just conversations I be having with my friends. But guys don't appreciate us. I don't know what it is. This might be just something I talk about on maybe the first topic I talk about on my podcast, because I don't know. It's just a little weird these days. It's like we got to fight for a spot in these lives, or they want to put, I don't know. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to save this for my podcast, because y'all know I got a podcast coming out here. We all about to be acting normal.
Okay, I got to break this down, y'all. I got to break this down. Okay. So she said that we run the world. That is what she said. That is what Jayda said. Jayda said we run the world. So I have to ask, why are we putting men on pedestals? We run the world. We the prize, but somehow we're out here putting men on pedestals. I feel like women have to start taking some accountability. I do. Because you got women out here fighting over a man. You got women out here bending their standards, bending their boundaries for a man. You got women out here being desperate for a man. You got women out here being desperate for marriage. You got women out here thinking that a lifestyle, Jayda, a Rolls Royce is better than respect. So if women, and I say if, right, according to her, if women were appreciated and respected more in the 80s and 90s, it's probably because they didn't bend their standards. They didn't bend their boundaries. They stuck to them. Okay? And so now men are in a position where they're seen as high demand, and they feed off of that, And I'm going to tell you something else. Another reason these men walk around the way that they do with a chip on their shoulder, they could come on the internet and say this about women and say that about women, is because they know at the end of the day, they can say and do and come as they want and still get sex. They are still going to get sex. Now, I don't feel that women back in the 80s and the 90s were all that well appreciated and respected. I don't. because a lot of them, and we're speaking on Black women, a lot of them were overgiving, overextending. They were the sacrificial lamb of the family. There were women getting abandoned, children being abandoned in the 80s and 90s. The only difference between then versus now, I do feel like those women somewhat were appreciated more, or at least these men would act like it, or at least they would put in some type of effort, you know what I mean? Because they couldn't get sex easily. That is the common denominator. It is sex. I mean, think about it. If you have a toddler, right? And they get candy, whether they act up or act good. And so because they get candy regardless, they're not going to act good just to get the candy, because they know they can get the candy regardless. So there's no point in them acting good. They don't need to. They're going to get the candy and they're going to go about their day doing exactly what they want to do. So if you want to know the difference between then versus now, I don't feel like women were treated all that much better. I do feel like women were provided for more. I do. Yes, I do. But really, the only difference between then versus now is sex. It is sex, y'all. That's it. It is sex. Also, these women were not out here just giving men kids, giving men legacies and things like that, just all willy-nilly. Women today, I think that we have been conditioned to really water down pregnancy and childbirth and giving men legacies and last names and offsprings and things like that. Like, we have really watered that down. So, I mean, if you really want to turn and shift, because you, the feminine, you have the power to do that. She said it herself. She said, women run the world. I don't feel like we run the world. We influence the world. That is our power. We don't run nothing, but we definitely influence it. So if we want to create a shift, we need to raise our standards. We need to not bend our boundaries, because at the end of the day, these men are going to do what they are allowed to do. So if they know they could go out here and cheat on you and you're going to take them back, they're not going to not cheat. They're going to continue to cheat. Jayda, she is the, and you know, it's interesting that this is the spokesperson, but you know what? We all are, we're all here to learn and grow, you know, and sometimes the lesson that we are supposed to get, sometimes it comes after a few errors, you know, but eventually we get it. So I don't feel like people are saying this is the wrong messenger. No, it's the right messenger. She's the right messenger for this message, because she done put up with a lot. You know what I mean? She has been giving gifts, cars, homes, jewelry, and it still wasn't enough. So I think she's the right spokesperson for this, because a lot of women feel like they can trade in self-respect for a car. And you see how she's on here speaking now. So I think she's the right messenger for this. I think she's the right messenger. And I think Black women, we collectively need to get out of this scarcity mindset that, oh, he does just this and that's enough for me, when really you deserve more than that. See, you have this scarcity mindset where you feel like, okay, well, this man wasn't doing what he was doing, so I'm going to just settle for what this man is doing because he's doing more than what the last man was doing. And it's like you're settling, and you're settling for less than you deserve. So let's continue, though. Let's continue, because this is all about the tie-in. She said what she said. She said that women were appreciated and respected more. I do feel like women were respected more, but honestly, I think men were forced to respect women. Men were forced to respect women not to call after 11 o'clock. Men were forced to date women between the hours of, I don't know, daylight, and then until the street lights would come on, then they had to be home. You know, men were forced to respect women. Men were forced to appreciate women. Men were forced to show up for women in a way that they needed. Men are not really required to do any of that because we don't have any boundaries. We think anything goes. everything is acceptable, and we don't really hold them to anything. So if you don't hold men to any standard or requirement, they're not going to meet them. It's just really that simple. Now, do I feel like this means that you should take the blame for how these men be acting and be carrying themselves? No, you need to look at their mama and their daddy, like, what's going on with this man? Like, why he act like this? You know what I mean? But why do you allow someone in your space like that? That's what you need to focus on. Because I'm telling you, if a lot of these men couldn't get the woman that they wanted acting the way that they do, they wouldn't act like that. They wouldn't. Because we are the influence. That little flower that you have between your legs, it creates life. It can influence. It can also dictate. You know, I'm just saying it can dictate. It can do a lot. And then if you have the beauties and brains to match that energy, sis, these men should be eating out of the palms of your hand. So I think we just need to shift. We have the power to shift it back, okay? Because we going in the wrong direction. Let's shift it the other way. If we shift it the other way, I'm telling you, these men will get in line. Have you ever thought about if all women at the same time close their legs, what would happen? I'm just saying. You. It's just like the Birkin bag. How much is the Birkin bag worth? Not everyone can afford the Birkin bag. So not everyone gets access to it. But everybody wants it though. People are willing to work overtime. They willing to do so much to get this Birkin bag. They just got to get their hands on it, right? You know what I mean? Listen, you can do it. You can do it. But we all got to do it at the same time now. We can, and this includes sex workers, because sex workers, they existed back in the 80s. They existed back in the 90s. But sex workers also had standards. Sex workers were also respected and appreciated, whether y'all want to acknowledge that or not. They were too. So, but they was charging though too. They was charging. Them women was charging. I think, was it OnlyFans or Fans Only? I think that's the best thing that ever happened for us. I do. But the only thing though is that these men will avoid you for OnlyFans because they can do that in the comfort of their home. It used to be, in order for you to get a sex worker or to have your fantasies met or things like that, you would actually have to go hire a sex worker. It was just a lot of work. But now that these men, have easy access to it, it does still create, some complications. But y'all get what I'm saying. Okay, let's continue.
I got a podcast coming. Stay tuned. But yeah, I don't know. That's gonna be the first topic I talk about though, because it's real different out here. But we do run the world for sure. We control the world. I feel like the reason it's spinning. Women are taking over day by day, and that's just all I'm gonna say for now.
Whole life I've never been faithful. Any of my exes watching, yes, I cheated on all of you.
And you lied to him, huh?
I lied. Man, I lied so much, man, I don't even know what the truth is. We rich. Broke niggas can't do this. Broke man ain't got no choice. He can't even afford a woman his way. How you gonna cheat with somebody else? A woman would take her bills being paid from a rich man that cheats than a broke man that's
don't you just damn, babe, I missed you. How was your day, babe?
Yeah.
Don't you want that?
Yes, I have that. That's on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah! And Friday and Saturday, bitches, I'm home. My lady just left. I got a side chick coming tonight. She knows that.
Hold on. How would you feel if she say, look, okay, Mike, we gonna do this? If
you want to do the same thing, then we could just be friends. I can't be putting a ring on your finger while somebody else is bending you over. Looking at my ring.
Babe, what's wrong with you?
Now, I never thought I would ever talk about this man. Michael Blackson is saying, a woman would take a rich cheater who pays all her bills over a broke, faithful man. I have talked about this so many times. First of all, I don't like it when men try to put women in a position where they choose between two options that oppress them. Okay. So a broke man is a man that can't do anything for you. Point blank, period. We live in a world where, in order for you to survive, be successful, have the American dream, you need money, period. Okay. So it's great that he's faithful, but he needs his finances as well, because we live in America where you're required to pay for this, pay for that, pay for schooling and all of that. So a broke man can't do anything for you. Then you have a rich man, but he feels like he can cheat on you, basically dog you out, disrespect you. I don't like how we live in a culture where women are okay with this option because at least I get this, and this. Jayda just came on here and basically said, like, we're not appreciated. Well, you can't continue to feed into this narrative that you'll take a rich man who will disrespect you, because you're still bending your boundaries. You're allowing this man to disrespect you. Why is that? So now these men walk around, and a lot of them feel like because they have money, they can do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. It's toxic. It's toxic on both sides, and both sides create a broken home. So I'm not here for it. I don't care who I offend. A broke man cannot do anything for you. There's no health insurance involved. There's no savings account. There's no emergency. There's no emergency savings. There's nothing. He can't do anything for you. But he wants you to do everything for him. He wants you to cook. He wants you to clean. He wants you to organize. He wants you to bear his children. But it's like, what are you doing for me? Because we reciprocate. So a broke man cannot reciprocate. It's great that he's faithful, but that's just not enough. It's not enough. And I don't care who I offend with that. I do not care. Like, it's not enough. It's not enough to live a life where it's peaceful. Like, I've never met a broke person that was at peace, because their finances had them insecure. Their finances caused them worry. Their finances would cause anxiety. Bill collectors calling. Everybody need money, and you don't have it. Like, that's not a life that is peaceful. So I'm just not going to be here for it. That if a man is broke, he's wonderful or something. Yeah, thank you. Because there are broke men out here that are just as bad as these rich men that are horrible too. Yes. And I'm like, somebody said I'm offending. I don't care. Somebody said I'm offending the pick-me's and the memes. Listen, a broke man can't do nothing for you. And I would hate for you to get pregnant, sis. I would hate for you to get pregnant. That's when men really switch up on you. So I just wouldn't gamble with my life like that. I'm not saying that a rich man is going to be better, but what is wrong with women choosing themselves? I don't why is that not an option? They always do that. And it's a manipulation tactic that I tell you guys this all the time. It's manipulation. They want you to put them in a position to where they're seen as the prize, and you must choose between two horrible situations. But at the end of the day, when you gather yourself and you really truly think about it, you can choose yourself. Men have been coining this narration for so long, where it's like, oh, if you give it a rich man, he gonna cheat on you. Give it a broke man, he gonna be faithful. But it's just like, none of these men are doing it for me. So you know what? I'm gonna choose myself. That is how men are able to do what they want when they feel like you must choose. That is how men feel like they can do what they want, get what they want out of the situation, make themselves priority, right? And then you're still left struggling. That's oppression, you guys. That is what that is. So I'm just be real with you. I would not choose neither. Neither are doing it for me, so I'll do for myself. That is still an option. It's not the most favorable option. No, I'm not promoting being single and alone. I am promoting choosing yourself when two situations do not serve you. They don't. They do not serve you. So it just does not make sense. And I do feel like men with money can be faithful. I do, when they prioritize family. This man don't prioritize family. He don't prioritize legacy. He don't prioritize none of that. You know what he prioritized? His penis. That's the only thing he care about. That's the only thing he worried about. He's not trying to build a home and create a legacy. He don't care about that type of stuff. So for him, his priorities, his values, they're, they don't align with you. So you move on with your life. You choose somebody else. You choose somebody who's better. Yeah, penis, y'all. That's all. That is what he's prioritizing. He's not prioritizing your health, your well-being, your feelings, your emotions. He's prioritizing his penis, and he's weaponizing you with his money. That is what he's doing. So if I was in a situation, and men always try this with me, every time I talk about I would never birth a broke man's baby, because I'm just not. I want my kids to eat organic. I want them to go to a good school. I want them to live in a nice home in a safe neighborhood. I'm not going to bring them here just to see them and watch them suffer. Like, I just don't want that. I don't. So I know some of you guys have been tricked. You've been put in a trick bag, and you doing what your mama did, what your auntie did, and what your grandmother did. You have the power to change your life and to change the circumstances and the dynamic within your family by simply choosing a different path. So that means you may not get married at 20. You may not get married at 21. You may not even get married at 23. You may not have kids until your 30s, but you know what? You chose a different path, a healthier path. That is still an option. So it's something to think about, y'all. Like, these men are not about to put us in a trick bag, and then we need to choose between two options that are just horrible. It's okay to be by yourself. It's okay to stand on your own 2 feet and do what you need to do for yourself. But I mean, choosing between two horrible situations, I'm never going to advise that. I'm going to tell you to choose yourself. I don't want my kids going to a horrible school. I want them, if I have children, I want to bring them here for success, for greatness. I cannot do that with a broke man. I can't do that with a rich man that want to go around and cheat on me either. So I'm just going to stay single, because that is what's best for me. And as a woman, it's your job. It's your job to foresee these things before they happen. Don't wait until you get pregnant. Don't wait until the baby comes. You need to start thinking about that now, about how you want your future to be. If you know you don't want to be in a situation like being with a broke man, or being in a relationship with a rich man that feels like he can cheat and run around on you and your pH balance is always off, choose better, choose different, take a different approach. And now these men are walking around really feeling like that if they're successful, and it's mainly black men, like, let's keep it a stack. It's mainly black men. They're going to walk around and make it seem like because they're successful, they have money, they can do whatever they want to do. They can do whatever they want to do. And then they target preferences because they feel like they're easy. This is why I don't know why preferences come on the internet thinking that they're better. And girl, do you not understand? They see you as a doormat. They see you as easy. They see you as someone they can easily get over, dumb, slow. That's how they see you. That is why they're with you. So I need y'all to understand that too. I don't feel like y'all dumb. I don't feel like you're slow. I don't. But you're not used to toxicity. See, you grew up in a household where it was healthy. And see, these men, they take women that come from a healthy household that's not used to toxicity and things like that and try to take advantage of you. So listen. And then again, these men walking around feeling like black men, the ones that have money, that are semi-successful and things like that, they feel like they can do whatever they can do or want to do. And then you got women calling them kings. Girl, he got a good job. Okay, and I got a good job too. So does Todd. Shoot, I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't believe in a black male unicorn. I told y'all that. I don't believe that. Just because he got some money and a good job, he take care of his kids. That's what he's supposed to do.
Looking at my tattoos on your back while he tearing you up.
Don't you age out of this?
Nah, I'm faithful to her. My dick's not.
Anytime I feel like it, I can just toss my bread and get whatever I want. You get what I'm saying? You following me,
These
right?
guys, I cannot.
That's
So
how
he's saying a woman would rather a rich, unfaithful man than a broke, faithful one.
I'm not saying rather.
Did y'all hear me? I was mute. My bad, y'all. Okay, so like I was saying, these men are walking around, and I'm the black ones, the ones that have an ounce of success, because we continuously praise them for doing the bare minimum, doing what they're supposed to do as men. They feel like they can do whatever they want to do. They can come as they want, do what they want. And Jayda Wayda, you know, I feel like this is a great conversation starter, but sis, you got to take accountability. You fed into it as well. You were saying that you would rather cry in a Rolls Royce over a Honda. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I would rather cry in a Honda over a Rolls Royce because I have my respect. I have self-love. I have self-esteem. I have self-confidence. I'm not insecure. I'm not looking in the mirror feeling like, what's wrong with me? Why don't he feel like I'm good enough for this? I don't have time for that. So I would rather be in a Honda. I'd rather be in a Honda. I'd rather be in a Honda, feeling myself. I don't know. Listening to, I don't know. Feeling as long as I'm feeling good about myself, I don't care. I will be in a Honda. And some of y'all need to just go ahead and make that decision because it's not worth it. It's not worth losing your sanity. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, y'all. I'm telling you. Somebody said I would rather cry at home. There's a lot of things I would rather be doing than to be with a man that's cheating on me like that. Like I have pride, y'all. Any Aries in here, any fire signs, y'all know we have pride. We do. Two things. Don't ever tell an Aries that they can't do something. And then don't ever tell an Aries that they will never be good enough. Don't do it. Don't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because we're going to show you every time. We're going to show up every time. We're going to show up. We're going to show out every single time. So just don't do it. I have pride. So as soon as I feel disrespected, I'm out. Like, I don't even want to tolerate the situation. Men that have disrespected me, it's always been behind my back. It has never been to my face because they knew better. It has always been behind my back. And when I would find out, they would get dropped. I would go ghost. I would never speak to them again. I would block their number and disappear out of their life. So it's really that simple. I have pride. I have pride. I have pride. And as soon as you start to tamper with my pride, it's over. Like, there is no coming back. And the reason why I'm like this is because I saw women growing up. That's why I don't feel like women from the 80s and the 90s were all that well respected. But I mean, men were providing, men were somewhat protecting, men were doing something. These men ain't doing nothing today. But I would see how men would talk down to women and things like that. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, who is he talking to? Because if I can't talk to you like that, you can't talk to me like that. If you feel like you could talk to me like that when I can't talk to you like that, we don't need to talk ever again. I'm that type of person. I used to see that growing up, and I just that would bother me so bad. Like, and women would stay. Women would stay. A lot of women would stay because they had to.